Hello everyone, it's your digital influencer again. Today it's a different style of presentation to you, and I have to thank the crew first before I delve into what I want to speak about today. They changed the whole scenery. Some of the people complained that it looked too documented type of thing, so we tried to just do something very different today, which is literally shoot this video in the comfort of my sitting room at home. I hope you enjoy the content. Today I'm going to be talking to us basically about what I call a fallout effect. A lot of times I stand in front of the camera, if I'm at the audio booth and trying to record podcasts, basically trying to put out content that illustrates or kind of directs us in a manner to be able to personally develop our life, basically becoming all we were created to be. Yes, but today, I just wanted to be totally truthful in terms of how the journey actually plays itself out. And one of the things I experience is what I've termed today, and I'm calling it a fallout effect. Basically what happens is that when you start the whole personal developmental journey, what basically happens is that because you're not starting this journey with your closest inner circle, or you're not starting it with your immediate family members, or if you're a married person, you're not starting with your nuclear family, then it's you get a bit of a fallout effect. And I'll give you very, very good examples of what this means. Say for example, you decide to attack the physical pillar of the personal developmental journey, and the basically physical pillar means trying to ensure that your body is fully optimized, and it's giving you that level of energy and power that you need to be able to carry out the physical pillar personal developmental journey. And that would basically entail you trying to eat properly, you partaking in probably a gym close to your house, or you going to a gym somewhere far, or doing some form of physical activity that would help boost that level of physical optimization that we're trying to get, employing the personal developmental journey. So what then happens is that most of the time when you either do that, you notice that because you weren't partaking in the personal developmental journey in the first place, you probably are out of shape and you decide to lose some weight. Now, if you did decide to do that, you probably will tell one or two people around you, but you can't tell everybody that has a connection to your life, right? So what then happens is that when you then start to, when you take effect and you start to really work on this physical pillar, and your weight starts to drop, say from an 80 to a 75, then it becomes more apparent to the people around you that there's a significant change going on in this person. Now, before the 80 to 75 journey in terms of dropping the weight, you will get people, obviously, because you're going to do certain things or you're going to execute in certain ways, that people immediately around you start to ask you, why you're not eating as much as you used to eat, or you decided to just reduce your carbohydrate intake, or you decide to reduce your sugar intake, and it would then play out in certain ways that they start to notice. But when the weight starts to drop from the 70 to 80, then it becomes more visible to a more extended community of friends or well-wishers or people that you come in contact with. And that's when the fallout effect starts to play itself, because then people start to say, this thing, are you not taking it to another level, or you don't look good, or I used to know you when you were chubby, you used to look full and vital, and all sorts of stuff would just play itself out. But the truth about it is that you've already done all your basic homework, you know why you're doing this, you know where you're trying to get to, and you know that these outputs that come as a result of these things you do are normal. So it's essential and it's very important that you stick to the game. You don't lose weight because maybe someone that you really care about tells you that they don't like the way your physicality is going, or in what direction it seems to be going. As long as it's in the realm of what you're trying to achieve. And obviously, if it starts to go further than that, you might want to sound a note of caution to yourself. But most of the time, you haven't even gotten to the boundaries of the realm, and you get a lot of people just trying to beat you down or trying to tell you that it doesn't make any sense, or because they are not part of the journey with you, they will never appreciate that journey with you. So all I'm trying to say, I mean, that was a physical example. If I was going to play that in a spiritual term, look at it this way. You decide to attack the spiritual pillar by enhancing your relationship with the Almighty. And obviously, the more you get conscious about your relationship with the Almighty, trust me, that also has a way of illustrating the way you go about administering yourself into, I mean, a general community, an environment, or if in a bigger case, a country. And what that basically means is that a lot of the things you used to do before, there's this extra conscience that kind of kicks in because you're fully tied to the spiritual. And what you then find out is that if in the past you had made certain decisions that go against the Almighty's commandments or His rules, or basically things that you've read in the good book that basically make you understand that things like empathy are key, things like love is the king, things like caring for your neighbor, loving your neighbor as yourself, things like those type of things will then start to coordinate the way you express yourself, and it will also play out in the kind of decisions you decide to take. So basically, your environment, your community is kind of used to you when you were not connected. So obviously, the decisions you were making would be in line with that, that state. But once you start to, ascend in that communication with the Almighty, trying to attack that spiritual pillar, then it becomes a different ball game. And obviously, people that were used to probably you doing certain things, now you're always telling them that you can't do this, or you don't believe in this, or you don't believe in that. And obviously, there's going to be a fallout effect in that, in that instant. And I can give you several example. I don't want to keep us here too long today, but I'm just simply trying to say to you out there who has started your personal developmental journey to just take it one step at a time. It's very important that you always fall back to the reason why you got into the personal developmental journey in the first place, and that will always be your bedrock, your pillar, when this fallout effects take place during the journey. And it would always keep you grounded and ensure that you keep in alignment with what is required of your unique personal developmental journey. Hey, come on, I speak a lot of English, I know, but I'm just trying to make us all understand that apart from me just always saying do, try to also understand the end-to-end story of partaking in the personal developmental journey itself. And it's not always going to be all sunshine. There are going to be some times where the storms come kicking in the forms of naysayers, in the form of fallout effects, in the forms of just the environment trying to accept you for what you are and what you stand for. You're going to experience all that. I'm just simply trying to say to you that it's perfectly normal. There's really nothing to it, and I don't want you to feel like start to second guess yourself or try to start to doubt the process. I just want you to make you understand that I went through it, I still go through it, and I've come to a state where I know that it's a normal phenomenon that is also attached to the personal developmental journey. Hey, this video is basically centered around fallout. It's tailored to the effect of fallout. It's tailored to the effect of people not understanding what you are currently going through, what you're trying to become. It's basically tailored to all that. I hope you enjoyed it. It's still your digital influencer as usual, faithful to the journey. I've promised you that I'm going to always be here for you to be able to walk you through this journey and make sure that you basically adapt to it in the most seamless way possible. I remain your digital influencer. Please share this, forward this to someone who you feel it would do a lot of gratitude and turn on good to them. And most importantly, let's all be all we can be. Have a great one.